This is the story of an adventure that led me deep into Europe's largest and most remote wilderness. No place on the continent of Europe is as far away from the nearest road than the heart of Padjelanta National Park in Sweden. In the month of September, when the summer hiking season had ended and the landscape had turned golden, I set off on foot with the goal of traversing the Scandinavian mountain range from east to west. I trekked across the vast and remote highlands of Padjelanta National Park, navigated the rugged and mountainous border between Sweden and Norway without any trails to follow, and finally finished the journey in the dramatic landscapes of Rago National Park in Norway. This journey of 12 days was one of silence, solitude, and peace. My adventure begins on the Padjelanta-leden, a marked trail that traverses all of Padjelanta National Park. The start of this trail can only be reached with a short boat ride from the small village of Kvikkjokk. For the first few days, Padjelanta-leden takes me through a wide valley of ancient and ever-changing old-growth forests. Wandering through these vast and old forests is a deeply calming experience. The scent of tree resin, the steady sound of the rivers, the wonderfully strange texture of fresh mushrooms, the taste of wild berries, and the constant sight of evergreen needles mixed with the golden leaves. All of these different sensations draw my attention to the present moment, giving my mind the opportunity to rest and quiet down. After 3 days of walking through the old-growth forest, I finally stepped into the open expanse of Padjelanta's highlands. Up here, above the tree line, a seemingly endless landscape unfolded before me. And this wide and colorful landscape would be my world for the next 7 days. During the first days of my journey, I was blessed with warm and sunny conditions, but the weather turned during the 4th night, bringing a powerful storm and a massive amount of rain. I kept hiking as usual, but for 2 nights I found refuge in the shelter huts that accompany the Padjelanta Leden. These huts are taken care of by wardens in summer, but when I arrived, they were already closed down for the winter season, with only one shelter room open at each hut. Both nights, I shared the room with 2 other hikers, enjoying some company among the otherwise very solitary days. Over time, the sightings of other people became less and less frequent. In the first few days, I would encounter maybe a hiker or 2 during a day. But after the 4th day, I began going whole days without seeing any other human soul. More and more, I felt disconnected from the civilized world, which now lay many days on foot behind me. While at the same time, I developed a feeling of familiarity with the natural world around me. I didn't feel like I was in a strange place or far away from home. I felt quite comfortable out here. Even on the sunny days, the winds of the high country were a real challenge. Often I had to lean against the wind and really I had to watch my footing to stay on the path. Also, the winds brought about a really icy chill, seemingly the first messengers of winter. On the 8th day, I left the familiar path and stepped into pure wilderness, beginning a 3-day and 50-kilometer trek across unmarked terrain. With every step, the sense of solitude deepened within me. Here in this untouched land, there was no trail to follow, and wherever I looked, there was absolutely no sign of human activity. Only the silent and expansive wild and the rhythm of my own footsteps. For those 3 days, I saw no other human being. first, the terrain wasn't too challenging. Thanks to the recent dry weather, the wetlands were surprisingly passable, and river crossings were usually doable with dry feet, rather than being challenging fordings, which I had expected. As I neared the Norwegian border, the land became more rugged. The mountains grew steeper and the vegetation receded in most places to reveal the granite bedrock. This rocky landscape was riddled with many steep cliffs and deep canyons that would just suddenly appear in front of me. This made navigation quite tricky, and I had to zigzag through the landscape in order to find ways around these obstacles. Sweden, Norway. Let's go to Norway. After 7 days without the cover of trees, Rago National Park in Norway brought me back into the embrace of the forest. Rago's landscapes are steeper, greener, and more narrow than Padjelanta's landscapes. A dramatic change that felt almost surreal after so many days in the vast open highlands. Waterfalls tumbled down the cliffs, and the lush old-growth forest accompanied the trails as I moved through the valley. On my last night, I stayed in a small and cozy hut, free and open to everyone. The final day was marked by steady rain, a wet farewell as I made my way through the last stretch. These 12 days alone in the wilderness were an unforgettable experience, one that provided a special kind of clarity and joy. Out here, time slowed down and life was reduced to its raw essence, moving, breathing, eating, and resting. This simplicity of each day gave me the opportunity to direct my attention to the environment that I found myself in. A healthy ecosystem where plants and animals can thrive undisturbed. A place that serves as a beautiful reminder of what really matters.